Hi everyone, my name is Albert Valera and I am the owner of Cypress Creek Cottages located in Wimberley, Texas. At Cypress Creek Cottages, we specialize in pet-friendly cabins and cottages with private hot tubs for any and every occasion. Today I want to take the opportunity to show you one of my personal favorite tools that you can use to find your preferred lodging and accommodation provider in Wimberley or in any other city that you might want to go to. We're going to be using my laptop, so let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that you want to do is open up a new browser page, and on the navigation bar type in www.tripadvisor.com. As soon as you hit enter, you're going to be taken to TripAdvisor's search page. I'm going to go ahead and open up this page a little bit further so you can actually see what we're looking at. There's a lot of information on this page. I don't want you to concern yourself with it. The only thing that you're going to be interested in is using the TripAdvisor search bar. It is this very search bar that we will type in whatever city and state is our final destination, and we will use that information that TripAdvisor presents to us at that point to begin to screen down the best place to stay. So in our case, we're going to use Wimberley, Texas as the example of the city and state. And as soon as I type in Wimberley, Texas, you'll see that TripAdvisor gives me a list of suggested things related to Wimberley. We again are just interested in Wimberley, Texas. So I'll select that. And at that point, TripAdvisor takes us to a summary page of what they consider all things Wimberley. Now, all the information presented on this page is a summary of the data that TripAdvisor has for, obviously, hotels, vacation rentals, flights, attractions, restaurants, and forums that are related to Wimberley. We are going to be interested in hotels since our goal is to find the best place to stay within Wimberley, Texas. So I'm going to go ahead and select hotels. And at that point, TripAdvisor begins its drill down process and takes us to a summary page of the hotels that they have in their database that are in Wimberley, Texas. And we see that there are basically 4 hotels located in Wimberley, Texas. And those hotels are the Cypress Creek Cottages, the Hotel Flora and Fauna, the Wimberley Inn Hotel, and Bandits Hideaway. Now, again, there's a lot of information on this page, and the way I like to use this page is simply to quickly help me narrow down for each of these hotels which ones I might actually be interested in looking at in more detail. And the easiest way to do that is to focus on 3 things. First and foremost, the total number of reviews that each hotel received. And you'll see that for Cypress Creek Cottages, 618 reviews were received. For the Hotel Flora and Fauna, 36. For the Wimberley Inn, 152, and for the Bandits Hideaway, only 2 reviews were received. So again, the total number of reviews is an important first starting point to help you sort down the list. The second thing I look at, and perhaps one of the more important aspects of sorting down this list, is of the total number of reviews, how were they actually rated? So how many of these places are 5 out of 5 stars? How many of these places are 4 out of 5 stars, and how many of these places are something less than 4 out of 5 stars? And that quickly helps you again sort down the list. We see that for Cypress Creek Cottages, there are 5 rated 5 out of 5, and the way TripAdvisor handles a rating is they use this system called the bubble chart. And if the chart is completely filled in, as it is for Cypress Creek Cottages, that means that it has a 5 out of 5 star potential rating. The same thing is true for the Hotel Flora and Fauna. It has a 5 out of 5 star rating. The Wimberley Inn has a 4.5 out of 5 star rating. And if you look down here at Bandits Hideaway, it has 4 out of 5 potential stars. So quickly you can see just on those 2 search criteria that if you wanted to stay in a 5-star place, you would either target Cypress Creek Cottages or the Hotel Flora and Fauna. So that's the first 2 things I look at. The third thing that I look for is how recent are the reviews. And the reason I look at that is because some places may have had a lot of reviews when they first opened up and they haven't had reviews in a long time. Well, that tells you something about the fact that people don't feel one way or the other about this place and haven't really submitted any information to TripAdvisor. So what I frequently look at then is the date that the last reviews were submitted. In the case of Cypress Creek Cottages, the last reviews were submitted in August 14th and August 17th. For the Hotel Flora and Fauna, their last review was submitted on, looks like 8/13, so August 13th of 2014. and August 11th of 2014. Again, both of those have fairly recent reviews. If you look down here at Bandits Hideaway, you see that the last review for them was submitted on April 6th of 2011. That's a long time ago, considering that today is basically August 17th of 2014. So not much activity has been going on with Bandits Hideaway. So just at this point, if you had to narrow down this list, you would say, I would probably, if I'm focused on staying in a 5-star location, look at Cypress Creek Cottages and the Hotel Flora and Fauna as my primary candidates. And then I would thirdly look at the Wimberley Inn as a potential as well, since they achieved 152 reviews, have a 4.5 rating, and their last reviews were submitted in July of 2014. And that's how I would use this page. Again, the process here is one of, if you will, drilling down to get to the 1 or 2 or 3 places that you want to explore further. So with that information, we're now going to go ahead and drill down a little deeper and say that we're interested in staying at Cypress Creek Cottages as an example. So each of the names for each of the hotels is hyperlinked, and that's how you see that line underscoring the name of it. If you click on it, you'll actually be taken to a summary page for that particular hotel. In this case, we're taken to the summary page for Cypress Creek Cottages. And there's, again, a lot of information here, so let's take it one step at a time and see what it's telling us. The first thing that we look at is the fact that Cypress Creek Cottages is ranked number 1 of 4 hotels in Wimberley. The second thing is, again, the number of reviews. They have 618 reviews. Third thing is that they were rated 5 out of 5 possible stars on the bubble chart. The other piece of new information that we find is that they were awarded a certificate of excellence by TripAdvisor. That's good information because obviously TripAdvisor doesn't hand out awards just to any operation. The second kind of big piece of information to look for is the distribution of ratings. And in this case, that information is presented under the traveler rating section. And what you find is 529 of the people that stayed and provided reviews with Cypress Creek Cottages rated it as excellent. 74 people rated it as very good. 9 people rated it as average. 1 person rated it as poor. And 5 people rated it as terrible. That information is useful because it gives you a sense for the distribution of ratings. So the fact that 529 people out of 618 that reviewed Cypress Creek Cottages rated it as excellent is a pretty telling fact as to the quality of this operation. The next thing I look for is what kind of folks are staying there. And that's the breakdown that you get on the second column, which basically shows that 192 of the folks that provided reviews were families that stayed at Cypress Creek Cottages. 278 of the folks that provided reviews were couples, either going on romantic getaways or celebrating anniversaries. 16 of the people providing reviews were basically folks that were traveling by themselves, or what TripAdvisor calls solo. And then 6 of them were folks traveling for business in or around the area. The last thing that I look for is an overall summary of what makes up the final rating for that particular hotel or operation. In the case of Cypress Creek Cottages, the rating summaries are these categories: location, sleep quality, rooms, service, value, and cleanliness. If you look at location, Cypress Creek Cottages receives a 5 out of 5. If you look at sleep quality, which includes such things as the kind of bedding, the mattress, the actual furnishings that provide for comfort in the room in terms of your sleep quality, they were also rated a 5 out of 5. If you look at the room itself, and these include things such as did you have the amenities and comforts that you needed in the room to be able to have a nice stay, they were also rated 5 out of 5. If you look at service, which includes everything from trying to book your reservation either online or through a phone call to their service organization, or if you look at things in terms of housekeeping and what was done during your stay, or even things after the fact. So for example, let's say you left something behind and you called in to see if you could actually retrieve it and it could be mailed to you. Those are all the dimensions of service. And again, Cypress Creek Cottages was rated a 5 out of 5. The other thing that TripAdvisor rates is value. And value in this case is defined as the price paid versus all of the performance delivered. And the performance delivered in this case is, of course, all the other attributes, such as the location, the sleep quality, the service, the cleanliness of the place, all the other attributes that made up for your experience. And TripAdvisor basically says that Cypress Creek Cottages receives a 4.5 out of 5 possible stars for value delivered. And then finally, cleanliness. And of course, cleanliness is cleanliness in this construct. And what they're basically saying here is that Cypress Creek Cottages receives a 5 out of 5 on the cleanliness of its actual cottages, since that's what they offer. That information can be particularly useful when taken in total, because it gives you a good perspective of what kind of place are you getting into, who are the people that are staying there, and overall, how do people feel about it. With this information, what I normally do is now step back and say, gee, this is probably a place that I'm interested in learning a little bit more about. And what I would do at this point is I would actually go through and read the reviews. I wouldn't read all of the reviews, but I would certainly read a good portion of the ones that were rated excellent, and you can get to those by just clicking on the number of travel ratings that were excellent. I would read those that said that it was average, and then I would read those that said that it was terrible. And what I would do with that is I'd actually discount that information based on how recent was the information provided, and also what are people saying that made it such a positive experience or such a negative experience. With that as a backdrop, I would then step back and say, now it's time for me to really get a sense for what specifically I'm interested in terms of my stay. And these are the things to consider. When you're actually going to stay at a place and you're trying to find your final location, your place to stay, you want to make sure that you identify what are the attributes that are important to you. So, is price point important to you? If so, how much is the maximum price that you're willing to pay? Is the location important to you? And location in this case, you should consider is being central to restaurants and shops and all the activities that the area has to offer important, or are you more concerned about being in a location that is basically secluded and away from all of that? So identify that as one of the attributes that you're interested in. Also, what are you looking for in terms of amenities and comforts? Are you wanting to have flat screen TVs, cable, movies on demand? Do you want to have a kitchen in your room? Do you want to have a sofa sleeper if you're bringing out kids? Do they even accept kids is another important consideration. So I would make a very short list of the things that are interesting to you that you definitely would want to have and must have in your actual stay. And make sure that you use that list then as the basis for comparing each of these hotels and what they offer relative to how well they're going to be able to meet your expectations. The last thing I like to do is also step back and look at pictures. The way I see pictures is the fact that people have submitted, in the case of Cypress Creek Cottages, 226 pictures tells you a lot. In fact, most people that are on vacation are actually taking photographs, but they don't necessarily submit them to TripAdvisor. So the fact that somebody would take the time to submit their pictures to TripAdvisor to show off what their vacation was like and what the accommodations were like and what that hotel was like is pretty telling, both either favorably or unfavorably. If the pictures are all good and people are raving about the place, then obviously they feel excited enough to submit their pictures. If their experience was horrible and they're submitting pictures of the horrors that they experienced, then that in itself is also very telling. With TripAdvisor, it's very easy to see pictures. The easiest way to do it is you basically click on the photographs and it presents you a slideshow that you can scroll through and take a look at the various pictures for the property that you may be interested in staying. And again, a picture will basically describe 1,000 words. So in many cases, being able to look at the pictures will also help you fine-tune what are the comforts and amenities and features that you're looking for in a particular location. That's the picture side of it. Now let's just do a quick recap of where we are. We basically have shown you how to get to TripAdvisor, how to actually search for a particular city and state that you're interested in staying in, how then to look at the hotels that are provided in that city, and then begin the process of searching down from the number of hotels that they might have to the vital few that you might be interested in considering. At that point, you actually would go ahead and put together your list based on what you think are the things that you want that hotel experience to provide for you, and then you would begin to compare your list to the actual offer that that hotel has. The rating summary, the actual pictures will also give you tons of information as to whether indeed the location that you're looking at and the hotelier that you're looking at can provide you with those benefits. Once you have all that information, it's time to select the place that you want to stay. At that point, I want to show you a couple other things. The easiest way to actually get a hold of any hotelier is right here at the top of the listing for that hotel on their summary. And you could see that you could click on the hotel website, you can call them directly, and the number is provided also under their name. You could email them, and either of those three ways will get you a hold of the actual hotel operators. Typically, more often than not, most folks will choose to call, and the reason they like to call is because they like to make sure that they can talk to a live person on the other side. But many times hotels, and I know for example Cypress Creek Cottages does, as well as the Hotel Flora and Fauna, they will have online booking engines that you can actually submit your reservation directly, and they will immediately confirm it with you. Either way you choose to book your hotel, you can't go wrong. But like I said, most folks would prefer to call and talk to the proprietor to understand a little bit more about the booking process and how the billing works and all of the finer details. So I hope you found this helpful. Again, the process here is fairly straightforward. It's one of beginning your search process by understanding first and foremost that TripAdvisor provides a very valuable tool that you can use to screen down possible cities and locations that you're interested in going to, and then using that tool to narrow down to the 3, 4, 5 hotels that you're interested in considering, and then doing some research into each of those hotels in detail by understanding the number of reviews they've received, the total rating of those reviews, understanding the type of folks that have stayed there, and understanding overall what their offering is, and comparing that list of their offer to what are the things that you're interested or most interested in having in your experience. At that point, you can make a decision as to your final selection, which hotelier you're going to stay with, and you can make a call. That phone number and the website for any hotel will be provided by TripAdvisor, so you can quickly get to that information. So there you have it. The last thing I want to do is I want to review with you the actual steps that we've gone through one more time as a summary, and let you know that you can actually download this information so you could have it in front of you as you do your search to find the best place to stay in Wimberley, Texas, or any city that you may desire to stay in. So the first step again is you go to TripAdvisor. The second step is you use the TripAdvisor toolbar for searching to find out the city and state that you're interested in staying. The third step is to take a look at all the summary of the hoteliers that are presented, check out their number of reviews, the ratings that they received, and the overall date of those reviews. From there, you can narrow it down to the 1 or 2 or 3 places that you'd like to stay, and then select each one of those individually and do your research. At that point, you make your list of the things that you must have and the things that you'd like to have, and you compare that hotelier's offering to your list. At that point, you can make a selection and say, this is my preferred hotelier. Then you can use TripAdvisor to go either to their website, to that hotelier's website, or to give them a call directly and to book your stay. So there you have it. I hope you found this useful. If you did, I would certainly appreciate you taking the time to leave us some feedback on our YouTube page, and just type in your comments. Give us any ideas and suggestions for how we can make this better for you in terms of an experience for sorting down and finding the best place to stay. We appreciate it, and we hope to see you soon at Cypress Creek Cottages. Many thanks.